around the clock.
Depend on us, the Fox 35 Storm Team.
Wake up with me on Good Day Orlando. I'll prepare you for your day ahead so you have everything you need before you head out the door.
Then when the day winds down, join me weeknights on Fox 35 News and know what's coming.
From morning
to night, depend on the Fox 35 Storm Team.
Right now on Fox 35 News, one of the FBI's most wanted fugitives is arrested right here in Central Florida. How officers were able to track him down. And a popular restaurant in Orlando is closed indefinitely after a devastating fire. The owner says they do have insurance, but that's not what he's most worried about right now. Plus, tax season is almost upon us. Tips from tax professionals to make filing easier for you. And this.
The Trump administration working to follow through on its pledge for the largest deportation operation in history. I'm CB Cotton with some of the key takeaways from this week on those efforts.
It's going to be a beautiful start to the work week. Warmer temperatures, seeing that sunshine again, but we are going to be seeing some patchy fog out there. We'll break down your morning commute coming up in just a few minutes.
Fox 35 News at 10 starts now.
The future is uncertain for an Orlando staple after the restaurant goes up in flames. It happened just before 5 a.m. this morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Hannah McKenzie. Much of the waterfront Orlando was destroyed in that fire. Fox 35's Stephanie Buffamonte is live there now. So, Steph, were you able to show us some of the damage?
Yeah, so you can see the waterfront behind me here. There's now a fence around it. And if we get closer, if you kind of look through the fence here, you could see the massive damage that those flames did to this business here. All of these charred pieces of the building burned to the ground. We can even still smell the smell of smoke in the air. Now, the good news is the owners say it's not a total loss, but they do say the damage is substantial. While they have coverage, the owners do feel bad for their employees. About 20 of them won't be able to come back to work until the repairs are done. Now, the owner thinks there was something that happened with the electrical panel that caused the fire, but the state fire marshal is now investigating. Reporting live in Orlando, Stephanie Buffamonte, Fox 35 News.
All right, thanks, Steph. Well, Central Florida seeing a major warm up today. We haven't seen those numbers in quite a while. Highs topping out in the low 70s for much of our area. But headed out the door tomorrow, you could see some fog. Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Laurel Blanchard is joining us now. So, Laurel, time this out for us because I have a feeling it's going to be right at the point where people are heading out the door to work and for school.
Yeah, Hannah, you're absolutely right. Right off the bat for that morning commute tomorrow, 7 a.m. It's going to be pretty foggy all across the region, especially along the I-4 corridor. We are going to be seeing that sunshine tomorrow with those partly cloudy skies, but that fog is going to be a big issue out there. And same for the kiddos waiting out at the bus stop. That fog is going to be pretty thick, so just make sure you are being careful tomorrow as you're headed out the door, because again, especially higher up on the I-4 corridor, that fog going to be pretty thick in some spots. So let's time it out for tomorrow morning. We're going to really start to see that fog become pretty widespread as we head to about 7 a.m. tomorrow. Again, this is the northern I-4 corridor from Orlando up to Sanford, possibly seeing some very thick fog, as well as higher up on the I-95 corridor if you're traveling from Palm Coast to Daytona Beach. So take it low and take it slow tomorrow. Make sure you're giving yourself plenty of time, because again, if you're in or traveling in one of those red areas, we're talking about pretty dense fog on tap for tomorrow morning. So again, just take it slow and give yourself plenty of time to get to work or to school tomorrow. Luckily, though, that fog should be pretty burned off by about 9 a.m. tomorrow. Taking a look at your forecast, we saw a beautiful day today, and we're going to keep those beautiful temperatures and gorgeous sunshine on tap through the day tomorrow. And that is all thanks to high pressure taking over the region. Partly cloudy skies on tap for most of the work week, but we may see a little bit of rain coming up later on in the week. We'll map that out for you and talk about that morning commute in a little bit more detail coming up in just a few minutes. Hannah?
All right, thanks, Laurel. Orlando police need your help identifying a murder suspect in a case from more than 2 years ago. Orlando PD says this man, Ruben Davila, was shot and killed on November 15th, 2022. It happened near Michigan Street and South Cimarron Boulevard. Davila's roommate was the one who called 911 and also told investigators they heard a loud bang before finding Davila unconscious. Police believe the suspect is someone he knew. The police department did release these photos earlier this week showing the alleged suspect. That suspect has a black and orange camo mask covering his head and face. He was also wearing Air Jordan 3 sneakers. If you know anything about that shooting, call Crime Line. One of the FBI's 10 most wanted fugitives is arrested in Lake County over the weekend. Donald Fields II was wanted on child sex trafficking and child rape charges out of Missouri. The 60-year-old was arrested yesterday during a traffic stop. Lady Lake police say he was pulled over because his license plate wasn't registered to the car he was driving. Fields was also added to FBI's 10 most wanted fugitives list in May of 2023. Tonight, we are still working to find out what caused a truck to go off the road and hit and kill a woman walking on the sidewalk. It happened in New Smyrna Beach on North Causeway and Riverwalk. So you're looking at photos from the scene now. Police say the woman was with her husband on the sidewalk when they were hit yesterday afternoon. The woman was killed and the husband was taken to hospital. This crash is still under investigation. No word if any charges have been filed. New tonight, the search is on for a woman who allegedly threatened to blow up the Kissimmee Police Department and the Osceola County Sheriff's Office. Laura Matthews is on your screen now. The 32-year-old also has a warrant for threats on a public servant. Sheriff Marcos Lopez says she needs to turn herself in.
This is dangerous. She's lost her mind. You can't call 911 and threaten to blow everything up.
If you know where Laura Matthews is, call the Sheriff's Office or Crime Line at 1-800-423-TIPS. Right now, President Donald Trump is back in Florida. He landed in Miami last night. Trump is in town for the Congressional Republican Conference at his Doral Resort. He'll join lawmakers for 3 days of meetings to discuss taxes and spending cuts. Today, the president said he plans on talking with Russian President Vladimir Putin about the war in Ukraine, quote, very soon. He also defended his decision to fire the inspectors general of 17 different federal departments.
Some people thought that some were unfair or some were not doing the job, and it's a very standard thing, very much like the U.S. attorneys.
Apologies, that was kind of hard to hear there. President Trump also said he is planning his first international trip to either Saudi Arabia or the United Kingdom. The president's immigration policy is being carried out across the country. Deportation flights carrying illegal immigrants are already underway, but the country of Colombia is refusing to comply, rejecting 2 of those flights today. Fox 35's CB Cotton has the latest. And Fox 35 News is just getting started. Still ahead, state lawmakers are in Tallahassee getting ready for the governor's special legislative session. The big issues they're tackling this week. And a unique race wrapping up this weekend in Daytona Beach. We're catching up with the drivers who spent 24 hours on the track to win the Rolex 24 today. Plus, it was a chilly week for many of us, and sea turtles are feeling that cold as well. How one local rehab facility helped get these guys through the cold snap. We'll be right back. Stay with us here.
When the sun goes down, that's when this town lights up. Central Florida is full of energy. Your news should be too. Depend on Fox 35 for unique stories you won't see anywhere else. I'm Marlisa Goldsmith. Join me late nights at 11 for the late news that won't put you to sleep.
Fox 35 late news at 11. Weeknights. Fox Local is Fox 35. Live news and more. On your phone, on your TV. Fox Local is built for you. Fox Local.
Welcome back. In just a few hours, Florida lawmakers will convene in Tallahassee for a special session called by Governor Ron DeSantis. He wants lawmakers to get a jump start on making changes to help carry out President Trump's immigration policies. Fox 35's Stephanie Buffamonte shares how this special session is causing some concern for some in the Central Florida community. Recreational marijuana could be back on the ballot in Florida next year. The group supporting the proposal has filed paperwork with the state asking voters to consider a new constitutional amendment. Smart and Safe Florida says the language was crafted to directly address some of the concerns opponents had about last year's ballot issue, which includes giving property owners the right to ban people from smoking marijuana on their property.
There were some holes in the amendment that needed additional clarification of language, which has been covered here. So I think people will be more comfortable with that.
The sponsors still need to collect the required number of signatures to get on the 2026 ballot. All right, heading outside now for a live look across downtown Orlando. Picturesque as always. I will say, though, this just caps off a really perfect weekend. Laurel, we had blue skies, sun was out there, the clouds were white and fluffy. You're saying we have fog to worry about, but once we get through the fog tomorrow morning, it's looking nice.
It's going to be a beautiful start to the work week, and I feel like we absolutely deserve it from that cold blast that we had last week. The Arctic temperatures, I think we can deal with a little bit of fog. However, definitely make sure you do leave a couple of minutes earlier tomorrow morning because that fog is going to be thick, especially on the northern I-4 corridor. So heads up for that. Keeping that fog around through 7, 8 a.m., but then that fog starts to burn off at about 9 a.m., but looks like 11 a.m. tomorrow morning does look good to go, and that fog should be burned off by then as those temperatures are on the rise. Partly cloudy skies as you're headed out the door tomorrow morning, but heads up, kiddos, it is going to be foggy out there. Be careful while you're waiting out there at the bus stop, and parents, again, just give yourself a couple more minutes to bring the kids to school on tap for tomorrow because of that fog out there for sure. Taking a look at that fog forecast. Now, if you're going to be in a red area tomorrow, be careful because that fog is going to be thick. This is 7 a.m. tomorrow morning from Daytona up to Palm Coast, seeing a lot of that dense fog, especially northern I-4 corridor from Daytona to DeLand, also seeing that big patchy fog out there. Also from Sanford to Orlando and then down by Kissimmee as well, going to be seeing that patchy fog as well. So again, just make sure you are being prepared for that, leaving a few minutes early so you can get through that fog without any problems tomorrow morning. That fog going to be sticking around through the 8 o'clock hour, but should be out of here and burned off completely with the exception of a little bit of fog lingering across the East Coast as we head through tomorrow morning. So take it low, take it slow tomorrow, but look forward to a beautiful day. Gorgeous sunshine from start to finish. Couple of clouds making their way in across the region, and temperatures a couple degrees warmer than we were today. So starting off the work week, sunny and 70 here in Central Florida. And this is just going to start off and keep the trend going as we take a look at the week ahead. Overall for your Monday, it's going to be beautiful. Starting to see that warmer air coming up from the south, and this is what's actually going to continue to raise our temperatures as we head into later on in the work week. Partly cloudy skies throughout most of the day. Nice warm breeze coming up from the south, so it's just going to be a picture perfect day to kick off the work week. Not too bad for a Monday morning. And as we continue through your Monday afternoon and Monday evening, more of the same. A warm breeze coming up from the south. Any dinner plans you might have tomorrow, especially tomorrow evening, look pretty good out there. So if you do have any outdoor plans at any point in the work week, it's going to be beautiful. Little bit of a frontal boundary increasing our cloud cover on Tuesday, but other than that, it's going to still be warm, and we're going to see that sunshine peek out as we head through your Tuesday afternoon. Speaking of those afternoon highs, we're going to continue to see that warm up happen. We saw that very warm breeze coming up from the south, and that's what's going to continue to hold as that high pressure just dominates over the region. And instead of being below average temperature wise as we were last week, we're actually going to be above temperature, which is normal for this time of year. Average high 72 degrees, and we may even hit the upper 70s or low 80s by the time we hit later on in the work week and start of next weekend. I drive right now, crystal clear skies, which does mean temperatures are going to be a little bit on the cooler side as you head out the door tomorrow morning. Expect temperatures in the 50s, so you may need that light jacket as you're headed out the door. And again, just be careful of that fog if you're headed out early tomorrow morning. Headed through the work week, it is going to be beautiful. Even those overnight lows not going to be too bad. We're going to continue with those temperatures to see those overnight lows rise into the 50s and even the low 60s as we take a look ahead into next week. But no rain in sight, just big puffy white clouds, beautiful sunshine, and temperatures in the 70s for the week ahead. Hannah?
All right, thanks so much, Laurel. In the Fox 35 Sports Zone tonight, 24 hours of racing wrapped up at Daytona International Speedway this afternoon. The Rolex 24 is pretty unique in the sports car series. It's a test of endurance, not just for the drivers, but the fans as well. Fox 35's Matt Trezza has more from the track. Still ahead, have you bought eggs lately? Those prices are definitely not cheap. So what's contributing to eggflation, and is there any break in sight? Plus, heads up if you own a Fitbit, the health risks and the money the company may owe you when we come back. Across Florida tonight, a Southwest plane heading from Tampa to Philadelphia had to turn around and make an emergency landing today after a bird strike. The flight left Tampa International Airport just after 4 p.m. A few minutes after takeoff, the plane hit the bird. Pilots were able to safely land back at the airport. Emergency vehicles were standing by just in case, but no one was hurt. In a statement, that airline did say Southwest apologizes for any inconvenience to our customers, and we will accommodate them to their final destination of Philadelphia as soon as possible. Nothing is more important to Southwest than the safety of our customers and employees. Troopers find 2 puppies and illegal drugs in a car in Polk County this morning. They say the driver was speeding on State Road 400 when they pulled him over. He was also driving with a revoked license. After a search of that car, troopers found a container and baggies of marijuana along with those 2 puppies there. That driver, Xavier Benitez, was arrested. The dogs were taken to animal control. Tax season starts tomorrow. Financial experts say the process doesn't have to be stressful. Fox 35's Ted Lindler has some strategies to get them filed smoothly. Alrighty, if you've got one of these, you might want to listen up because Fitbit is paying out millions of dollars in fines after consumers say they were burned by the product. Certain smartwatches were pulled from store shelves more than 2 years ago. The Google-owned company received reports of lithium-ion batteries overheating, and now the brand has agreed to pay $12.2 million for failing to alert customers about the problem. The Department of Agriculture says the bird flu killed nearly 20 million egg-laying chickens last year, affecting the price of eggs. The Consumer Price Index says egg prices have jumped by almost 37% from what they were this time last year. The high cost has some people taking matters into their own hands by raising their own chickens. And restaurants, well, they're doing what they can to keep customers coming despite the price spike.
Shopping habits change a little bit, behaviors change for consumers at home. In our industry, it's a little trickier. That requires menu changes. And when you're a breakfast concept, you got to have eggs. So we just have to weather the storm.
Industry experts project higher egg prices will continue this year as producers haven't been able to build back their egg-laying flocks. Now, still ahead, keep your eyes on the skies. A rare planetary parade is taking place right now. Laurel's going to break down how you can get the best look when we come back. Right now, the SunPass scam is making the rounds again, and people are getting texts saying they have unpaid tolls. Officials say scammers are trying to get you to think you owe money on your account. Some of the text messages ask you to pay your toll before a certain date to avoid late fees or even legal action. This is called SMS phishing or smishing. Cybersecurity experts say the texts come with a link, and the worst thing you can do is click that link.
2 things they're going after. 1, getting malware on your phone, or 2, trying to get your credit card information.
So here are some steps experts say you should follow to prevent getting scammed. First, check the language of that text. Make sure there's no misspellings. Next, check the company's policy to see if they even send text message alerts. Lastly, look up the company's phone number yourself. Don't just look at the link and copy that number, and call them directly to verify your account status. Well, rain showers across Southern California are helping to extinguish ongoing wildfires, but those showers are also bringing a new threat, and that is mudslides. Fox 35's Christina Coleman reports from the Pacific Palisades tonight. Right now, 6 planets are visible in the sky tonight, forming a parade of planets. That's what it's called. Lineups like this are fairly common, but what makes this one so special is the number of planets you can actually see right now. So let's bring in Fox 35's Laurel Blanchard. She's the pro on this. Laurel, tell us the best way we can view these planets and what we should know if we want to go stargazing this week.
Yeah, Hannah. Well, first off, I realize you're probably in bed right now. You don't want to go outside in the cold and see those planets out there right now, but hey, don't worry, they'll all still be out there through the rest of January. And here's a couple of stargazing tips. You want to get away from as much light as possible and try to get in a big open field so you can see as much of the sky as possible, as well as give yourself enough time for your eyes to adjust if you do not have a telescope, because hey, guess what? You'll actually be able to see some of those planets with the naked eye. And here are the 6 planets that you can see in this planetary parade. Starting in the eastern sky, you'll be able to see Mars, Jupiter, and Uranus. More towards the southeast sky, you'll be able to see Neptune, and in the south sky, you'll also be able to see Saturn and Venus. So those are the 6 planets that you'll be able to see, and here are the ones that you can actually see without a telescope. You'll be able to see Mars and Jupiter, and Saturn and Venus. Unfortunately, Uranus and Neptune are way too far away in order to just see with the naked eye, so you will need a telescope. But you will have to look carefully, because this is ultimately what it will look like. Very bright stars or planets being just slightly red or tan color with Mars and Jupiter in the eastern sky. And again, you'll also be able to see a very bright white star, which we've been able to see just the past couple of nights. That is Venus, and a very bright tan star, that is Saturn. So good luck, everybody, with that stargazing. And if you do have any photos, definitely send them to us at fox35.com. Hannah?
All right, thanks, Laurel. Great tips. Coming up in our next half hour, United Healthcare just named a new CEO several weeks after the murder of former CEO Brian Thompson. And the new pick is no stranger to the company. Plus, we're previewing Holocaust Remembrance Day, 80 years since the liberation of Auschwitz. You're not going to want to miss this. Stay with us here on Fox 35. The man accused of breaking into a couple's home in Marion County in the middle of the night is scheduled to be in court this week. Body cam video shows the suspect being arrested after deputies say the homeowner fought him off with a wooden mallet.
Buddy, can you talk to me?
There he is, shrieking in pain. This all happened in 2023. Deputies say Robin Rivera kicked down Tracy and Taylor Mitchell's front door and lunged at the couple. Tracy grabbed that mallet right there and started hitting Rivera while her husband picked up his shotgun. They were able to fight him off and get him out of their house.
You don't want to kill somebody. You know, everybody said, why didn't you shoot him? Why didn't you shoot him? It's easier said than done to take somebody's life, I think. For us, anyway.
Rivera is charged with 1 count of burglary with battery, which is a felony. Tomorrow is International Holocaust Remembrance Day. It marks 80 years since the liberation of the largest Nazi concentration camp in Poland, Auschwitz. Auschwitz was one of thousands of concentration camps where millions of people were killed. And today, a World War II veteran who helped liberate one of those camps shared his story. On Wednesday, Escamani says lawmakers will propose legislation in Tallahassee to designate Holocaust Remembrance Day as a statewide commemoration. And just before International Holocaust Remembrance Day, the world's oldest known Holocaust survivor just turned 113 years old. This is Rose Jerome. She was born in Poland and escaped Nazi Germany by immigrating to China with her husband. She moved to New York in 1947, and she operated 2 knitting stores until she was 102.
Who's standing there? That's a cameraman with a television camera. Do I have to put on lipstick? Oh, I forgot about lipstick, but I did put a little blusher on.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Jerome says her secret to a long life is a positive outlook and some dark chocolate. Happy birthday to her. Next on Fox 35 News at 10, a travel option is growing in popularity. It sounds like a movie, and you might be right. I think it's called The Holiday. It's a way to skip the hotel bill. Why home swapping has become a favorite for some vacationers. Before we head to break, though, we're saving you some cash with the Fox 35 Pump Patrol. Gas is $2.86 a gallon at the racetrack on West Colonial Drive. That's in Oakland. For more gas prices near you, head to our website, fox35orlando.com. New tonight, it's never too early to start planning your next vacation, right? Well, a new trend is emerging that could save you some serious cash. It's called home swapping. You swap homes, but not money, with other travelers from around the world. Fox 35's Oliviana Calmes has more. United Healthcare has announced its new CEO. The previous CEO, Brian Thompson, was gunned down in New York last month. Company veteran Tim Noel is the new CEO. He previously ran the company's Medicare and retirement division and first joined the company in 2007. Luigi Mangione faces murder and terrorism charges in connection to that fatal shooting. He's due back in court next month. Next here on Fox 35 News at 10, it's been a rough week, not just for us, but for our sea turtle friends trying to stay warm as well. We're heading out to a local turtle rehab facility to see how they help the reptiles get healthy and back into the wild. Before we head to break, though, our night lights tonight take us to Oakland, California. Overlooking the San Francisco Bay tonight. Can't really see much, though, other than the skyline. It's still pretty out there. Thank you guys for watching Fox 35 News. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Stay with us.
Fox 35 News is sponsored by Window World. Wake up with Brooks and Jessica weekday mornings on Good Day Orlando.
Welcome back, and check out these photos of two FWC officers rescuing 30 cold-stunned sea turtles last week. So this was in Gulf County, but turtle rehabilitation centers across the state were inundated with turtles during that latest cold snap. I went to a rehab facility here in Ponce Inlet to see how they nurse them back to health. The whole operation out there, Laurel, was so neat to see. And while we were there, they actually had a new intake come in. So that was number 27.
Wow.
This year so far. So they're already on par to surpass previous years.
Well, they're doing good stuff out there for sure.
And good news for the turtles, because our cold snap is over. So we don't have to worry about them being too, crazed by the water temperatures anymore. It's looking like a gorgeous week ahead.
No, you're absolutely right. We're far, far away from any more cold snaps. That's the good news right there, is high pressure takes hold of the region as we head through this work week. So ultimately what that means, gorgeous sunshine on tap all of this week. And as we also take a look, temperature is going to continue to warm up thanks to that high pressure that has given us beautiful sunshine this weekend. This is also going to be warming up our temperatures as well. So as you can see here, that high pressure really going to be funneling that in that warm air coming up from the south. And this is what's going to keep our temperatures on the rise as we take a look at the week ahead. For your Monday, partly cloudy skies all day. It's going to be a beautiful one for sure. We're having a frontal boundary make its way across the southeast, but luckily this is only going to increase our cloud cover, not even going to be seeing any rain from this. So that's the good news right there. Headed through your Monday evening, partly cloudy skies, a little bit more of that cloud cover starting to move in through your Monday evening, and then headed into your Tuesday, still keeping that thicker cloud cover through the morning. Other than that, little bit of that cooler air trying to stream in, but we're not going to be seeing those temperatures fluctuate like we have in last week. But overall, high temperatures going to be continuing to be on the rise. Temperatures to start off the work week throughout the low 70s, staying in the low 70s on Tuesday, and then continuing to warm up from there, possibly making a run at 80 degrees by next weekend. And not going to be seeing any rain in sight as we take a look through the work week. But usually when I talk about those very warm temperatures or we're going to be ending a cold snap, there's always a but and fine print right at the bottom that we're going to cool back down. But this is even the temperature outlook through the start of February. This is February 1st to February 5th, and you can see we are in the red. We are going to be seeing those above average temperatures. Nice little change for us here in Central Florida, as opposed to the well below average temperatures of what we've been feeling for quite a while. Pretty much through the entirety of January, we've been seeing those below average temperatures. So February is going to be seeing those above average temperatures. A little bit of a give and take in the forecast for sure. Overall, downtown Orlando, crystal clear out there, and that's exactly how it's going to stay through the rest of the overnight tonight. Headed out the door tomorrow, 7 a.m., feeling like 50 degrees in Orlando, feeling like 43 degrees in Gainesville, and taking a look across Palm Coast and Daytona Beach, temperatures throughout the upper 40s and low 50s. So you will need that jacket out there, but also give yourself a couple of extra minutes to get out the door and get to work or to get to school tomorrow, because fog is going to be a big story out there, especially along the I-4 corridor. If you're traveling from Sanford down to Orlando, or just traveling further up from Daytona Beach down to Orlando tomorrow, you will be starting to see some of that very thick, patchy fog out there. So just make sure you're giving yourself just a couple of extra minutes in order to get to work safely tomorrow, because yeah, I think things are going to be a little bit more congested, especially with that fog tomorrow morning. 7-day forecast, keeping those sunny skies and temperatures in the 70s on tap all week long. Going to keep an eye on a frontal boundary trying to make its way in by the time we head to next weekend, but hey, that's next weekend. We're going to be seeing a gorgeous week ahead, and even those overnight lows not going to get too chilly at all. Temperatures through the overnight lingering throughout the upper 40s and 50s, but overall partly cloudy skies on tap for most of the work week and temperatures in the 70s. Hannah?
I can't wait, Laurel. That looks amazing. Alrighty, coming up, the CIA steps into the COVID-19 origin debate with a lab leak theory that's reshaping the narrative and trust in U.S. intelligence. The full story when we come back here on Fox 35. Back with a health alert for you. Health officials warn the post-holiday surge of COVID, RSV, and the flu is here. The CDC says the flu is the greatest concern right now. Testing positivity is up almost 19% over the past week, and 42 states are now reporting high or moderate flu activity. Some hospitals say this year they're starting to get overwhelmed by the sheer number of patients.
We're having a lot of patients who are struggling to kind of shake it, if you will, and even some who are progressing further and requiring, emergency room visits.
There's always going to be ebbs and flows in emergency medicine. We do our best to predict what's going to happen and when it's going to happen, but, sometimes it can be a little challenging.
The CDC says cold and flu season lasts from October to May, but the season is expected to peak in February. New tonight, the CIA now says that the COVID-19 pandemic was likely caused by a lab leak in China, but can't be 100% sure. The agency released a new report yesterday, but it doesn't include any new evidence. Instead, it's based on analyzing intelligence, scientific properties, and conditions of the lab in China. China says this report lacks credibility. $25,000 for a used iPhone. Why old phones are selling for big bucks on eBay when we come back. Trending tonight, Spirit Airlines is known for getting you where you want to go relatively cheaply, but now they're making demands. Spirit Airlines is banning some tattoos and clothing. Yeah, they are bringing in a dress code. Any clothing or body art that can be seen as lewd, obscene, offensive, or revealing will be a no-go from now on. Passengers who violate the dress code may be denied boarding. The policy follows an incident where 2 women claim they were removed from a Spirit flight for wearing crop tops. Some people are trying to sell their old iPhones with TikTok installed on them on eBay. This is following the brief TikTok ban. If you'll remember, the app has actually been taken off Apple and Google app stores. It hasn't been put back on. So one person is asking for $25,000 for their Apple iPhone 13 Pro Max that has TikTok. It's unclear when TikTok will return to those app stores. If you want to make a quick buck, just undersell. If that's 25, I would take what does a new iPhone cost these days? They're expensive.
$700, $800 bucks?
At least $1,000. Yeah, I would say $1,000. So what? Put it on there for $5. make a killing, buy yourself a new phone.
Honestly, that's big brain right there. I like that.
25 grand just for TikTok. It just shows you the hold it has on people.
That's true. I don't know if that's completely worth it.
No, I wouldn't say at all.
If I was doing the selling, yeah, absolutely, in a heartbeat.
If I was making the 25 grand, yes. I wouldn't be paying for it. I wouldn't even pay $25 for it. Laurel, though, the weather, we do have to touch on that. It is looking stunning this week. Thursday, Friday, those are my pick days.
This is a $25,000 forecast right here. We're going, honestly, maybe even a $70,000 forecast. Lots of 70s on that forecast right there. Temperature is going to be 70s, and it's going to be sunny out there, possibly even making a run at the 80s by next weekend. Next rain chance going to be next weekend.
I like what you said in the 5. You said this is the reward for all of that cold weather we had to endure. You guys, thank you for joining us here at 10.